About a week ago, I made a Marr Show episode talking about my thoughts on the Super Smash Bros. Series, with NerdThomas appearing a couple of times in the episode. Originally, I was going to include his opinions on the games as well in the episode, but with the video being long enough as it is, and with us recording up to 37 minutes of him talking about Smash Bros., I figured seeing as he's a huge fan of the series himself, that he should deserve a whole video devoted to himself talking about the Smash Bros. Series. And that's what we're gonna do. So sit back and enjoy my best friend NerdThomas talking about the Super Smash Bros. Games. You're beautiful, it's true.
Can't see you. What? You blinded me.
What are your thoughts on the original Smash Bros?
What? Oh, Smash.
You just broke your $400 phone.
Dude, that phone is a POS. You kidding me? It's like one of the first games of a genre. I think it's considered a platform fighter. The 8-character roster was small, but at the time it was like the first game out there. So there's really no expectation at that point. Plus, unlike today, where with Ultimate there's 70 plus characters, back then there was only like 12, and 4 of them had to be unlocked. And the roster was pretty great at the time. There were a couple characters I had no idea who they were. I had no idea who Samus was. I had no idea who Captain Falcon was. I had no idea who Ness was. I mean, the overall game was just great. My only complaint that I have, I wish that the other stages like the Metal Cavern, Battlefield, and Final Destination, or FD as a lot of people will call it, was available to play on. I mean, doesn't necessarily have to be, but that is a complaint that I have with the base game. It's only like 9 stages. All of them are great. Saffron City is still the best to this day, but I just like to see the other 3 stages playable. At least flesh out the stage idea a little bit more. Overall, the game has a great single player. The multiplayer is great. The extra content where you get like a brief biography of the characters, of who they are, where they come from, what games they are. It's a small game, but there's so much packed into it that it's like video games the game. And that term has escalated a lot since then. And I think with Ultimate coming out, it's now just fan service the game, and not just video games the game. I still play Smash 64 to this day, and I can't get enough of it. And it has a personal thing. It has a unique charm and will stay with me forever and ever.
What are your brief thoughts on Melee?
This game was my childhood. My childhood would consist of like Zelda, and that's it. But Melee was my jam. I could sink so many hours into adventure mode. Even if after I did complete the whole thing, I could sink so many hours into adventure mode because it has so much replayability. Event matches were also great. Having predetermined matches set up to where you can face characters under certain conditions. It's a lot of fun. Home run contest is so good too. Constantly hitting the sandbag as far as you can, and through proper means getting over the 9,999 mark, where the game crashes. The modes were also great. The battle modes. There's special Melee, which introduced variety of different modes, such as Super Sudden Death, where each character is at 300%. There's Stamina mode, Giant Melee, where you're huge, Tiny Melee, where you're tiny. All sorts of variety of special Melee. It's so good. There's Tournament mode too, which was not how tournaments are usually run in terms of competitive Smash, but it's still a lot of fun to go through and just kind of kick ass with characters and be on the top. The character roster was also great. It introduced 2 characters, Marth and Roy. Marth and Roy at the time in the US, nobody ever heard of Fire Emblem, which is the games they came from. So a lot of people were wondering, who's Marth and Roy? Now they were curious because they wanted to see what Fire Emblem was like. Marth and Roy are responsible for bringing Fire Emblem to the West. It is because their inclusion of Melee that Fire Emblem is still kicking to this day. So it's all thanks to our little man with the tipper of the sword, and our boy. It also introduced Mr. Game & Watch, who was the oddest character of the bunch, but also the most unique fighter. Every fighter is 3D. You get a 3D model of each fighter, get details of their clothing and hair. Game & Watch is just flat like paper. It's hilarious, but it's so much fun. And of course, we can't talk about Melee without mentioning the competitive scene. Melee has surpassed 64, Brawl, and even future Smash games from here on out because its gameplay is addicting and a lot of fun. There's advanced techniques, wave dashing, where you're kind of landing, it's hard to describe, where you're jumping, but you also land at the same time, kind of sliding across the floor. It was unintentional. A lot of the stuff that was discovered is unintentional, but the fact that Melee had it made it so much more interesting and fun that it's just mind-boggling what people can do. There are people that can perform moves that probably was never intentional to begin with. It's just a lot of fun to watch. I'm gonna get a lot of hate for this. I don't personally play Melee competitively because I do not have the finger speed like most people do. You see the fingers and the thumbs at work when people are messing with the controllers. You hear this? Yeah, you're playing Melee. Just do this. But it's all precise movements, all precise timing. That's Melee. It is insane. If you're curious how competitive Melee works, look up Melee competitive videos. Go to VG Bootcamp, look up Melee matches. It's a whole slew of competitive goodness. In terms of childhood and what it means to me, this game was my childhood. Zelda also shaped my childhood too, as evident with Link to the Past and such others. But Melee played a big part of my childhood. It is the one game that I wanted more than anything. It was Smash 64 ignited my love, but Melee cemented my love. And with each Smash game that has entered into the fray, so to speak, I have to give credit to Melee for making me love Smash even more so than I do now. And even though it's not my favorite game, it still has a special place in my heart. And I'm sure it's going to stay in the hearts of millions of players till Kingdom Come.
Now I'll just give you a brief thoughts of what you thought of Brawl.
Too slow. Moving on. I think the better term for that is you're too slow. It ranks up there with Smash 64 for me. Gameplay wise, it's slow. We can all agree it's slow and in a competitive sense. But what it had was great. It had a story mode, which was the first for the series. It had a story mode that really isn't great by any means. In fact, the gameplay parts were not mediocre. I would say it's lacking because it's not like going through the Mushroom Kingdom or Hyrule. The story cutscenes, though, are where Subspace truly shines. Because the cutscenes actually involve the characters interacting in a way other than just being the holy tar out of them with a sword or punching or with Game & Watch's frying pan just constantly spouting up sausages and fish. But they have all interacting in a way where they're actually talking to them, like something that we've been dreaming of seeing for a while. Almost like a Captain N. I can't believe I'm making that reference. The stage selection I thought was great. The character selection was awesome. The first game to introduce guest characters, which was Sonic the Hedgehog and Solid Snake from Metal Gear Solid. It was an odd choice for Snake because to me he felt out of place, like he didn't really belong. I'd say he fits more along with PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royale. With Sonic, it felt like he belonged because he ranks up there with Mario. They've been rivals for so many years. And the idea of having Mario and Sonic in the same game fighting each other is kind of a cool thing. And plus he has his own stage, which is Green Hill Zone from the first game, which is awesome. His trophies were also a new thing. We in the Smash community would like to say that assist trophies are where character dreams go to die. Characters like Isaac, dead. Characters like Lynn, dead. Characters like Little Mac, until the next game. But overall, the game, at some of the game, it was good. It wasn't a game that I would necessarily play over and over again. I mean, I would go back to it every once in a while. But the game itself is fine, and I think it should be remembered for the game that it is instead of what the game should have been. So, Brawl was an okay game. Wasn't terrible. Wasn't great. It was good enough. Now, there is a mod for Brawl, which we've played many times on the gameplay show, Delmar and Pals, where we played a mod called Project M, which it's Brawl, but it's meant to be faster and competitive, more competitive than Brawl. And it offers, I love Brawl, but Project M is easier for me to pick up and play, because Brawl was slow, whereas with Project M, it's still Brawl, but faster, and almost like Melee style of speed. It's a lot of fun. I thoroughly enjoyed it with all the mods that are out there. Brawl is ripe with so many Brawl mods out there. Right. If you're curious about Brawl modding, go to brawlvault.com. There is a ton of mods there. Project M, unfortunately, is no longer a thing. They canceled the project, and the team sort of dispersed and went on their separate ways. But people are still letting Project M live on through various other mods, such as Legacy TE Tournament Edition and Legacy XP, which is Brawl cranked up to 1,000 with so many characters and stages. So if you like Brawl but not a fan of the gameplay style, pick up Project M. It's simple, it's easy, and it's a lot of fun. There are tutorials online where you can learn how to do it. I highly recommend it.
Both the Wii U and 3DS versions of Smash.
I know many people are going to say the Wii U version's better. They're both good for what they have. Both games lacked good single player experience, with the exception of 3DS. 3DS had a great solo mode Smash run, even though it didn't have any sort of online connectivity whatsoever. It was still a lot of fun, and I still go back to it. As far as Wii U, I'll be honest, I don't have Wii U. I have a Wii U, but I don't have Smash Wii U. I actually have Smash 3DS, and I've sunk more hours in the 3DS than I have with any other game in the series, because that's just the game that I first started out with. I didn't really play the Wii U version fully until a couple months ago, where I actually borrowed Daniel, your game, the Wii U version, because it was still pretty good. We can't talk about Smash 4 without mentioning the roster. It is insane. Even before the DLC came along, there were so many dream come true characters, at least personally for me. I mean, I have Little Mac from Punch-Out. I've been wanting to see Little Mac as a playable character since Brawl when he was introduced. And it's a great upgrade from this trophy to playable character. There's also odd characters like the villager from Animal Crossing. You think something as peaceful as Animal Crossing wouldn't be so deadly? Have you looked into the eyes of the villager? It's terrifying. Also, Duck Hunt was the most surprising thing ever. If you hated Duck Hunt all these years, how he laughed at you, you can have your revenge. 3 big wins for me in the roster. First was Shulk from Xenoblade. I don't think I've expressed my love for Xenoblade at all, video form, on the show or anywhere else. I love Xenoblade. So seeing Shulk in Smash introduced me to Xenoblade, so I have to give Smash credit for that. That's actually a funny thing, while I'm mentioning it. There are people that knew Xenoblade, but it wasn't as popular as, say, like Zelda, Pokemon. But because of Shulk's inclusion in Smash, there was a Xenoblade X, and there was a Xenoblade 2, which I need to play Xenoblade 2. I need to play it! Ah!
You're scaring me.
Sorry. The second big dream for me was seeing Lucas come back. I like Lucas. I love Mother 3. I play the fan translation. I will play that game until I die. It is so good. I won't spoil anything for those who haven't played it, but Lucas was great. I prefer Lucas over Nez. And needless to say, when I saw Lucas, I cried. Not joke. I am not ashamed. Do these eyes look like they give a shit what you think? I cried after seeing Lucas. The Smash 4 hype train would not be complete without 3 characters. Ryu from Street Fighter, which caught me off guard. It was leaked the day before he was announced, which that's a topic for another time. There's surprisingly Cloud, so there's that. And then there's Bayonetta. It's great that she's in, but Bayonetta almost ruined the game for me. You didn't know that, did you?
No, I didn't.
Do you know why?
Why?
When Bayonetta was announced, they showed the competitive scene was so happy because Bayonetta. People say Dev she was too sexy for Smash Brothers. Kind of like Cloud was never going to happen. It was just a dream and nothing more. But it ended up coming true. When Bayonetta was announced, people were excited, and then when they finally got a chance to play as her, people were pissed because competitively, she's almost unfair to the point where it kind of ruins the game because everybody plays Bayonetta because she's so broken. She is so high on the tier list, to use that. People were so enraged that Bayonetta was so annoying because she could just kill you. If you got caught in a 0 to death combo, that's it. You're done. There's no getting out of it. You're dead. They showed off what she could do in her in the presentation a couple years ago, where they showed what you could do, just constantly bombarding you with hits even in the air. Okay, people could do that and kill you instantly, and there's no escaping it. And there's other shit too, where her hitboxes are so huge that there's no way of avoiding them. There's the bullets, which can just stop you dead in your tracks, kind of like how Falco's laser stops you dead in your tracks. But imagine that at the speed of sound fast. She's just broken all around, and people stopped playing Smash 4 competitively because of how broken she was. She was so unfair that people dropped the game entirely because nobody liked it. I don't have a problem with Bayonetta in the game. I have a problem with how she plays. It's great that they captured her essence. It's great that they tried to replicate the gameplay style that Bayonetta was, which is a nice touch, and I appreciate and love that kind of stuff. But there's some things that just don't fit with the kind of game Smash is. It's not meant to be a competitive game, according to Sakurai, the creator, but people just stopped playing the game altogether, both casually and competitively, because they're just so sick of Bayonetta getting constantly killing you every chance she gets. It's almost to the point where it makes the game just less fun. The game itself is spectacular for what it has. It lacked a single player. A lot of single player content. It had a great roster despite some hiccups. Not just Bayonetta, but a couple of others. The stage selection was awesome. I think it's the best to date. Being the Xenoblade fan that I am, I have to love Galar Plains unconditionally because it's a requirement to being a Xenoblade fan. I could go on about Smash 4. That game I do play competitively. But when Ultimate comes out, hello Ultimate, how are you? Can I join you on this little parade? Awesome. But yeah, Smash 4 is great. And I recommend playing it the chance you get. If you still have a Wii U. I know you do.
I love my Wii U.
I love my Wii U too. Both 3DS and Wii U are great. They both have the same content, but obviously the Wii U version is better because it has more content than the 3DS. Play both versions. You're not going to be disappointed with either one of them. If you're used to playing the GameCube controller, then you can just make a modified 3DS with a GameCube controller attached to it. It exists, yes.
And that was NerdThomas' thoughts on the Super Smash Bros. Series. He's a huge Smash Bros. Fan. He's been talking about Smash Bros. Ultimate every day. He's just a really good friend of mine, and I figured since he's a huge fan of the Smash Bros. Series, that a proper video of him where he gets the whole spotlight and everything will work out better. And let me know in the comment section if you'd like to see NerdThomas in more of the Marr Show episodes. I just want to include Tommy more in my videos, and I hope you guys can check out his channel. He doesn't upload a whole lot of new videos. In fact, I don't believe he hasn't made a new video on his channel for the past 2 years, I think. But I do recommend giving his channel a shot and just give my good old buddy some support. So thank you guys for watching this, God bless yous, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye bye!